Hello and welcome back to Ask Me Anything with Chi Flow with Jo. I am the Jo. Today's question is one I hear quite a lot. What can I do to improve my frozen shoulder? If your shoulder feels painful, tight and stubborn, like it's glued in place, like it hurts when you reach up or reach out for things, you're not alone. Frozen shoulder can take months, sometimes even longer to ease, because part of the reason is often we don't know why it started. But what's the good news? Well, with gentle, consistent practice of Qi Gong, acupressure and food medicine, you can reduce pain, restore your mobility and feel more like yourself again. Before we get practical, a quick why. It's because daily Qi Gong is like compound interest for your joints. A little bit of slow, breath-led movement every day calms the nervous system, and so pain perception drops. It also helps to manage hormone fluctuations and an overwhelmed nervous system. It nourishes the fascia, the tendons, with circulation of energy, of warmth and of blood. And it teaches the body how to move without bracing, which is how we age-proof our shoulders. So as a personal invitation, when you join Chi Flow with Jo, you don't just get the classes, you get the power of the group every weekday morning, plus a live chat with me and Davey right after class, where you can ask any of your questions, where you can tell us your aha moments. You can tell us what's going on in your life that may be triggering these symptoms. We celebrate your wins and we keep your momentum flowing. It's such a supportive way to heal and live well. There is a quick safety note. If you have had a recent fall or you can't lift your arm at all, if you have fever, redness or severe night pain that doesn't change when you move your position, if you have numbness in your hand or a sudden swelling, please get checked by your healthcare professional. Everything we do today is gentle. The pain level should stay at 2 or 3 out of 10. We are choosing ease over force. So the first thing we're going to start with is acupressure points, and we're going to do 2 acupressure points on the large intestine meridian. Now the large intestine is really about letting go, physically, emotionally, spiritually, in connection with the world, about letting go and not holding on. So let's start with the 2 shoulder acupressure points on the large intestine channel. In TCM, this pathway helps move any stagnation through the arm and the shoulder. So the first one we're going for is large intestine 15, Xuan and it's called shoulder bone. And the benefits is that it helps your shoulder with any pain and stiffness. It supports your abduction, which means the arm lifting out to the side, because it invites warmth and circulation into that joint capsule. So sit or stand and gently raise your arm out to the side if you can. And as you do that, feel the part where the arm is joining the shoulder. Now slide the fingertips around that crease, and at the front, slightly below the bony tip, your finger will fall into a soft hollow. It's almost kind of like a tender little valley. See if you can find that. There's actually 2 of those. We're going for the one at the front, large intestine 15. So how to work it? Rest your arm by your side. And with your opposite hand, either the thumb or the middle finger, press and melt into that tender hollow for about 8 slow breaths. Practice it now, practice it with me, and just see if you can start to feel that point just start to open. Now we're not forcing anything, we're almost shaking hands with this point, so we don't squeeze it to death and we don't limply hold it. We just use teeny weeny tiny circles like polishing a pearl. Just see if you can ease your way into that point and feel if there's any letting go. You may feel it all the way down the channel to right in between the thumb and the forefinger. So repeat that. You want to repeat it anywhere between 30 seconds and 3 minutes until you feel a change. Now, normally I would sit and I would really rest with that. Already I can feel these two arms are very different. So I'm going to move to the other side and you would repeat there. So when we've done large intestine 15, let's move on to large intestine 14. And this is called Banao, and it is, I'm so sorry for my pronunciation, it's called upper arm. So it is the point on the upper arm, and it benefits and eases upper arm and shoulder tension. It supports lifting and reaching for things. Lovely for that stuck sleeve. If you feel like you're wearing a sleeve that's just stuck on you, this one is really great. I've used this quite a lot in my practice, especially on menopausal women where shoulder stiffness can be one of the symptoms. So that change in hormones changes the blood and qi around the body. So we want to be keeping it nice and open. So let's find large intestine 14. Place the arm across your belly. And what we're doing is the large intestine channel will move right down to the crease of the elbow. So you're drawing an imaginary line from large intestine 15 right down to large intestine 11. And where that point just meets where the two muscles right at the bottom of the deltoid, just kind of where that groove is, just massage into that. And a great way, it's just above the deltoid muscle where the muscle starts to slope. Feel for the tender, ropey spot, right kind of in the middle. And how would we work it? Well, how I like to work it is just hold your arm just above the elbow, and you'll feel that the thumb automatically falls into the point. Now pinpoint the point with your thumb, and the other fingers hold and wrap around the arm for support. And just breathe. Don't be trying to dig a hole. Don't press too sharply. Don't press too deeply. Just ease the pressure on the in-breath and sinking a little bit on the out-breath. Now I want you to do that anywhere, again, between 30 seconds and 3 minutes. And then you want to switch to the other side. Remember, large intestine 15 down to the crook of the elbow, and in the middle, grasp the arm just over the elbow, and the thumb will fall into large intestine 14. We're not digging a hole, we're polishing a pearl. And then a nice Qi Gong move to follow that up is place your arm on the crook of your wrist and let the arm roll over your elbow, and let your elbow come through. Now this can be a little bit like tapping your head and rubbing your tummy, but you'll get it. So hand on the crook of your elbow, let it pass over, and the arm will rotate underneath. And this is getting a really great slide and glide function. Let's do it on the other side. Holding the crook of the arm, rotate through. Now there's more Qigong at the end of this video, but don't forget to sign up for the free class, which is always on the last weekday of each month. We can also put our hands here, elbows out, little tiny circles, just making little tiny circles. This is called rooster spreads feathers. So again, what we're doing is we're not bringing our shoulders up, we're letting them drop, and then just pressing into, you can hold large intestine 15 or just slightly down on lung 1 and make circles. Breathe and relax. Now let's move on to the food medicine. Now you would take a lot more time than I am taking to experience the feelings of this. Don't rush on through it. Yeah, otherwise we'd be here for an hour or so. I'm moving through these exercises quite quickly, but you could really take your time, and I want you to really sense the difference that you feel. And it is compound. You have to practice this regularly. Use the points 2 or 3 times a day. Small circles, small circles. Do this 2 or 3 times a day. Yeah. Rotate through the elbows 2 or 3 times a day. That's why Qi Flow is brilliant and really works, because it keeps you motivated. You've got me every single morning getting you up, getting you out of bed and starting your day by moving, loosening and flowing. So let's move now to the food medicine for stiff neck and shoulders. From a Chinese medicine perspective, we want to move blood, dispel wind cold, transform damp, that's a big one, transform damp, and nourish the liver and the kidneys. Because liver governs the sinews and the tendons in the body, and the kidneys govern the bones, we want more of these foods in our diet. Now, for the full complement of that, you can go and have a look at my book, but what I do want to share with you is the warm, pungent flavors release to the surface. They really help release tightness and move qi and blood. They really support the large intestine, and they are usually pungent in flavor. So you want to be thinking fresh ginger, spring onion, especially the white parts, garlic, white pepper, black pepper, very small amounts of chili, things that are really pungent. Turmeric as well is a really good one for boosting the liver and also the large intestine. So sinew-friendly foods which would support the liver include dark leafy greens, goji berries, also seaweeds and olive oils to help smooth and glide the tendons and the ligaments. So we consider that oils are really good for the liver in Chinese medicine, but too many fats clog the liver. So you want to have a good balance. And the other thing to have a good balance of is water, plenty of water, and maybe involve the ginger or lemon into the water, so that improves liver function, which again, I said liver supports the tendons and the ligaments. What you want to eat less of is cold, raw salads. Okay, these really slow the energy, even though it might consider like you feel like your digestion is speeding up, but really there's no energy that will support the stomach. The stomach is having to work really hard to break down the food. So avoiding cold, raw salads. Also avoiding excess sugary or dairy, heavy fried foods. These also increase dampness inside the body. And a lot of dampness means that we get a lot of stiffness, a lot of cloggy headiness, and it can also mean brain fog too. In Chinese medicine, dampness is like heavy, sticky fog that settles in the body. It slows everything down and it makes tissues feel puffy, waterlogged and sluggish. Imagine trying to move through wet, clingy clothes. Your range of movement shrinks and your effort rises. Nothing glides smoothly. And in the shoulders, that fog can thicken the fluids around the tendons and the joint capsule. It impairs the circulation of qi and blood, and so repair and lubrication become slow and laggy. The result is stiff, dull, aching, and a stuck feeling that flares with cold, humidity, or damp producing foods, as I mentioned before, sugars, fried foods, and cold foods. You can find lots more food medicine recipes in my book. Go to the green chapter for the liver and the blue chapter for the kidneys. Now let's do some Qi Gong, specifically tendon Neigong. We're going to do a mini set of these. It's gentle and joint saving. In tendon Qi Gong, we breathe into the joint space, almost expanding softly as if the joint were a balloon inflating in all directions and deflating. In Chinese medicine, the language that it uses moves the stagnation and the metabolic wastes. Sometimes these can be poetically called poisonous acids. So when they move out, fresh qi and blood can bathe the tissues and the fascia, but we have no strain and no pinching. So you want to be kind of either standing hip width or sitting up tall on a chair, feet grounded on the floor, crown lifted, jaw soft. Today we're going to practice sitting down, and this seated version works beautifully, particularly early on when you're just beginning to practice. You want to keep your breath smooth. If pain spikes, shrink your range and lower your arms. And if pinchy, lower the elbow and imagine space in the socket, in the armpit as well, okay? So you can even begin by just resting your arms on your knees if your shoulders are really frozen stuck. On the inhale, what you'll do is you'll lengthen and inflate all the joints, the tendons, three-dimensionally, as if the shoulder, the elbow, the wrists were tiny little balloons that were expanding on your inhale. And as you exhale, you softly condense them, almost like wringing out a sponge. And this pumps the fluids and clears them and helps to restore glide inside the joints. It really regulates the nervous system. It improves the joint space and the tendon hydration. It's great for frozen shoulder because it avoids impingement while improving circulation. But there's nothing I can't tell you. You have to experience it. You have to practice it. Some of the common pitfalls I want you to avoid are over-bracing, tightening, inhaling and bringing up the shoulders. Don't be doing that. Or even forcing your range. This creates neck tension and fascia stiffness and can flare your symptoms. So I want you to just let the arms hang. Almost imagine you're letting dust fall off your neck and your shoulders, and all movements should be coming from the lower belly. Right from your lower belly. Even though you might be feeling it in your fingers, you're feeling it into the lower belly. So you'd begin just by pressing into the points, large intestines 15 and 14. Just massage and press either side, right down to the crease of the elbow. Use that, rotate through the elbow. You can take longer with this when you do it by yourself. And now just place your hands on your knees. If your shoulders are really frozen, place your hands on your knees. Otherwise, raise your wrists to kind of just be in line with your shoulders, probably a little bit lower. And I want you to imagine a micro line right from the lower belly button, coming up from the sternum and going up into the armpits, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, and the fingertips. There's no visible stretch, but I want you to inhale and feel that kinetic line, that kinetic chain. Exhale. Feel the shoulder capsule reduce and gather. Want to inhale. Expand, feel right into the shoulder like it's got lots and lots of little balloons. And now exhale, compress like they're little sponges. Compress and squeeze out the sponges. I want you to do the same for the elbows. Inhale, breathe space into the elbows. Exhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inhale, right into the wrists, the fingers, the joints. Exhale. Inhale right from the lower belly. Let all that energy flow up through the shoulders, elbows, wrists, right to the fingertips. And now exhale. You can even add in tiny spirals. As you inhale, imagine the tiny spirals coming from the lower belly, through the armpit, down the elbow, wrists to the fingers. Now exhale, do the other rotation. Ease back to the belly. Expand and relax. Allow the arms to just rest. Let's do 2 rounds of the arms resting on the knees. Expanding. Relaxing. Squeezing the joints, the elbows, the wrists, the fingers. Inhale. Really feel all your joints expanding. Exhale. Feel them contracting. Like sponges, squeezing it out. One more time. Inhale right from the belly, spiral it up through the armpits, right to the fingers. Exhale. And release, relax. And just bring your arms to over your belly and let's have a quick assessment. What does good feel like to you? Do you feel good? How do your shoulders feel? Do they feel warmer? Do they feel tingly? Do they feel energized? This is a really good way to start to have an impact on your frozen shoulder. It's not going to go away by itself. You might not get to the actual and ultimate reason of why it exists, but you don't need to get trapped in that. You just need to do the practice. By turning your heart and your body and your attention towards making a positive impact, you can make a positive change to your health. Don't get stuck in the pain. We can always bring some movement, some blood, some qi, some loving kindness to our joints. Let's take another breath and just feel where else you might just expand into, exhaling. Play with this. See how this feels for you. It's a really good, safe place to start. And believe me, frozen shoulder responds to kindness and consistency. We don't force change, we invite it in. I'd love to support you, and so would Qi Flow with Jo. We're filled with really supportive practitioners who love to cheer you on, who ask questions and are not afraid to try and take a step forward on a journey to health and living well with your life. So we meet every live weekday morning and always have a chat together after the class. I'm cheering for you. Really, you can make a difference just with these small movements. It's an easy reach to the top shelf once more. You'll be able to open and stretch before you know it, but you have to take the first step. If you want to go over there, you've got to take the first step to get over there. And Qi Gong is a really safe, easy, love-filled way to do it. And remember, if you've got a question, you can ask me anything. Just go to the form on the website and I'll make a video for you. Until then, may you be happy, safe and well.